X-Play, TV's most watched video game show.
Today on X-Play, we preview the ultra-violent Condemned 2 Bloodshot for the Xbox 360. Is this nightmarish sequel just as scary? Plus, we go head-to-head to decide once and for all, do video game review scores matter? Plus, we've got FaceTime with star running back Darren McFadden. He joins us live in the studio to talk football and video games. All that and more. It's game time.
The greatest show in the history of the world. I'm Morgan Webb.
And I'm Adam Sessler. We're coming to you from the G4 studios in Los Angeles on Thursday, March 6th. On today's show, we'll talk with Darren McFadden, the face of NCAA Football 09 for the Xbox 360.
Plus, we'll take on some crazies in our preview of Sega's Condemned 2, and we'll go head-to-head to talk game review scores, what they mean, and why the system is flawed. But first, Adam's got all the day's top headlines in our gaming update.
Thank you, Morgan. Well, owners of the Xbox 360 version of Bully Scholarship Edition are experiencing major glitches. The game is currently suffering through frame rate, audio, and freezing issues. At the moment, it appears that these glitches are only affecting people who own an older Xbox 360. Sam Hauser, co-founder and president of Rockstar Games, has since issued a statement apologizing for the mishap. Hauser says he is horrified at what happened and noticed that these bugs were never experienced during the game's Q&A process, adding that Rockstar is currently working around the clock to rectify this situation. Well, Ziff Davis Media, publisher of magazines including Electronic Gaming Monthly and Games for Windows, has filed for bankruptcy. In a recent press release, the company revealed their plan to reduce their debt by filing Chapter 11 petitions in the U.S. bankruptcy court. The company has asked the court for permission to continue paying employee wages and salaries in addition to providing employee benefits without interruption. By filing for the court-supervised process, the company's reorganization process will be accelerated and allows Ziff Davis Media to continue operation. Army of Two has apparently been banned in Germany. An organization called the USK, Germany's version of the ESRB, has refused the classification of the recently released co-op shooter from EA. Without an official classification from the USK board, Army of Two won't be available for sale at retail stores throughout the country. What's interesting is that the USK recently cleared Grand Theft Auto 4 and a handful of other shooters. Lucky for you, there's nothing to worry about because you don't live in Germany. Probably. And finally, Jeff Gerstmann, former editorial director of GameSpot.com, has announced that he started work on his own website called GiantBomb.com. Jeff will work closely with his friend and former GameSpot colleague, Ryan Davis. But what better way to get all the details than to speak with Jeff Gerstmann himself? So, Jeff, welcome to our show.
Hey, thanks for having me on, man. It's a very exciting day.
I imagine it must be. So, what's the gist of GiantBomb.com?
Well, you know, GiantBomb.com, what we want it to be is a fun video game website. You know, too many sites out there, you know, too much reporting is going into covering all the business side of stuff, and it's getting a little stale. So we want to get out there and talk about games, because we like games, and as I've been blogging on my own, it just seems like there's an audience out there and they like games, and they're not being met. You know, their needs aren't being met by what's out there right now. So we're building a site and launching today the first phase, which is going to be a blog, sort of like the blog I've been running, but actually we're going to be taking people behind the scenes with a video series called How to Build a Bomb, because we want the Department of Homeland Security to read the site pretty regularly. And this is going to take people behind the scenes where they can see, as we're building the real site, kind of what the thought processes are going into it, and they can also help shape it.
And when the site's finally up, are we going to see reviews? Are we going to see blogs? What's the content going to be like?
Well, yeah, it's definitely going to be reviews. You know, it's going to be an independent voice for reviews and a very opinionated one. You know, we're looking to just kind of say, hey, look, this is what we think of these games, and you're not always going to agree with us, and that's great. You'll be able to contribute your own voice to the kind of cacophony of stuff, and hopefully we'll all be able to buy the best games.
No, hopefully that will be the end result. Well, congratulations, Jeff. Knowing your personality, it should be a very exciting and fun website. Good luck. And when will it be operational? What's your goal?
Well, the blog will be launching today at giantbomb.com, but then the main site will be launching this summer, so we've got a little bit of time.
All right, well, we'll talk to you then. All right, well, that's all for today's gaming update. Be sure to visit us on the web at g4tv.com/xplay to continue getting all of today's up-to-the-minute video game news. Now let's go over to Morgan, who has our most disturbing preview of the day.
Thank you, Adam. Condemned Criminal Origins is one messed up, violent game. It's so disturbing that the game's protagonist, Ethan Thomas, couldn't even get sober for the sequel. Well, we hope he can make it through this preview.
Let's face it, you've seen better days. Your outside looks like the inside of a bag of dead rats. You're in the right place for now, though. A place where moral decay grows on the sides of Dreer like a stinking fungus. You're in Bukowski country, baby. Hey, where are you going? You're not ready to leave. This is where the action is. Condemned 2 Bloodshot continues the journey of Serial Crimes Unit investigator Ethan Thomas as he searches for evil through a microscope of truth. All right, so Ethan's microscope is a glass of liver shriveler laced with narcotics. He has other investigative techniques. What? He's a bum. He's using available resources. One of the first things you'll notice in Condemned 2 is the overhauled fight mechanics, tuned to visceral perfection. Combos, power punches, and environmental kills, which utilize elements of the game space to finish adversaries, add to melee detail. Huh, I should have used the turd style. Debris and firearms are available, but Condemned 2 seems to discourage all-out assault in favor of a methodical pace. It's easy to die fast in this town. Environments are brushed lushly in fear. The city is a living carcass, breathing fitfully, surprising you with coughing spasms of attack. Evidence gathering has been expanded to include more detailed forensic techniques that rely on varying degrees of player participation. Television is also inserted into the game. You'll have to adjust the antenna yourself to see the truth clearly.
Forget the past, how we used you, how we destroyed your life.
Condemned 2 thankfully capitalizes on its past strength and seems to ante up on all levels. We're looking forward to rustling a few trash cans with Ethan next week.
Coming up on X-Play, we bite the hand that feeds us as we go head-to-head to see if game ratings really matter. Then we try to keep up as we get some super fast FaceTime with Darren McFadden, the new face of NCAA Football 09 for the Xbox 360. Plus, this week's X-Play Gamer Challenge is only half over, and we've got an update on the current leaders. Find out how you can join the fight. Stay right here.
Action!
Welcome back to X-Play. Like the movie business, reviews can make or break a title's release, but does this current system actually work as intended? Well, let's go head-to-head to find out.
Whether developers like it or not, games often live and die by their review scores. Years worth of hype can be destroyed with a handful of low ratings. Just ask Factor 5. But with the popularity of sites like Metacritic and Game Rankings, gamers don't even have to read reviews anymore. Just look at an average score. Who do you trust? And what did the scores really mean? Joining us today from San Francisco, site director for the entire OneUp network, Sam Kennedy. And also joining us today, senior editor from GamePro Magazine, Sydney Schumann. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for joining us today. Let's start off with you, Sam. You guys recently changed your numerical scores for games to a letter score. What was behind that?
Well, what we figured was that, over the years, we've always had the numerical scores, and what we realized that, we always kind of used 5 as the average. But, kind of in the industry, a lot of other people weren't. And also, like, a lot of the readers didn't understand that 5 was average. So we kind of figured, you know what, we need to go with a scale that everybody understands. Everybody knows that a C is average and A is excellent. So, we kind of wanted to move things forward in that direction.
Now, Sydney, obviously, there are sites like Metacritic and Game Rankings, which become very, very important to a lot of the people who are making the games. They want to see that average score, which we all sort of make up that average there. At the same time, though, are we losing something? Because we actually write reviews. We don't just apply scores to things.
We do, I think. Actually, myself, I'm more of a fan of considering game reviews as more of a consumer offering. Like, I'm not myself personally a fan of reviewing games and looking at them as kind of an art medium. I know that's kind of an unpopular position right now. At GamePro, we really look at reviews as, is the game fun? Is it worth buying? And I mean, everyone's got their own take on it, and it sounds like OneUp has their new take on it now too. So.
Actually, Sam, I was about to say, so that's interesting. It's more of a consumer-oriented for Sydney, but what are your standards for rating a game?
You know, I think it's pretty much the same. I mean, we honestly look at, is the game fun? Is it entertaining? And price does play a factor too, because you know we have such a wide variety of prices in the games industry, from like the Xbox Live Arcade kind of games to the more high-end retail games. So you know, we look at is it fun, and you know what's kind of the value of that title.
Now, obviously, with the people who are big fans of games, they seem to react quite strongly when we go in certain directions on certain types of titles. Sydney, what are kind of the criteria that you look at when you're reviewing a game to make sure that you know you're fair, but you're also informing people about it?
Well, I think Sam said price, and that is a crucial thing. I mean, that's at the end of the day, games are expensive, right? You only have a budget for a limited number, so that's a crucial thing. For GamePro, it's very, very focused on fun. How fun is the game? That's actually, for the most part, we dropped everything else, graphics, sound, things like that. It's fun. Games are about fun. They're not trying to be movies, or they shouldn't be trying to be movies. It's not about making the ultimate cinematic experiences. Is it fun? And that's what we do, and that's really what our focus is. It's fun.
Now, Sam, obviously, all of us love games, but, you know, we always have our certain predilections. We like certain games, genres over others. How do you deal with that kind of sense of built-in preference among your editors when they're reviewing games?
Right. Well, we always try to find the experts in any kind of genre. So, you know, if we have like a sports game, then it's going to go to someone who's a sports expert, and kind of so on. And you know, I mean, we want to find people who are really, you know, passionate about the games that they're playing, so you know they can, you know, not only passionate but experienced, so that they can kind of, you know, judge it as, you know, how does it compare to other titles on the market in that same genre.
Now, obviously, we're not doing these things in a vacuum. People are paying attention to the ratings that we're giving games. Sydney, how do you deal with publishers and sometimes even developers that take exception to the scores that you've given to some of those games?
Well, I'll be the first to say that it does happen, and I'm not going to name names because I don't think it's important. Yeah. But at the same time, at the end of the day, hey, it's an opinion, right? Like, I'm a firm believer in different reviewers having different takes on games. For instance, Assassin's Creed is a fantastic example. We gave it, I believe, a perfect score. That was what our reviewer, who made a very strong argument, that was a fantastic game, Assassin's Creed. Yet, I believe OneUp gave it sort of a good score, but not a tremendous score. I thought they backed it up really well too. There's multiple angles, and really, if it's backed up properly in a review, it's all relevant.
Which I think also really leads to one of the things I keep on trying to say, that people shouldn't always rely on just one source. Read a few of them and get the sense of what everyone's saying about it. That's a much easier way to make that decision. Sam, just so you can also respond as well, how do you deal with, you know, angry developers and publishers out there?
Yeah, you know, it happens sometimes, but it's an opinion. It's one person's opinion, and to be honest, like, if everybody had the same exact opinion and same exact score, then, you know, things would be kind of boring, I think.
All right, well, guys, thanks so much for all that. I really enjoyed this discussion. Sam, if you wouldn't mind just staying on for one quick question we had. By absolute coincidence, there was obviously the announcement from Ziff Davis yesterday that they're filing Chapter 11. OneUp is, of course, part of the Ziff Davis empire. How are things over there? Is there any actual impact on you guys right now?
Oh, yeah, you know, to be honest, for us, day to day, it doesn't change things at all. Like, you know, from personally speaking, I think, you know, it's actually kind of a good thing, because, you know, we want to focus on what we do and kind of let the courts or the lawyers take care of like the financial stuff. And, you know, for us, day to day, it doesn't change a thing. So it's actually, you know, getting rid of our debt in a lot of ways is a really good thing, so we can kind of just focus on moving forward.
Well, thank you so much, Sam. Please give my best to everyone over there. I hope everything works out for you guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right, now let's send it back over to Morgan.
We've got to take a quick break, but first take a crack at today's poll question. Which game review method do you prefer? Is it A, 10-point scale, B, 5 stars, or C, letter grades? Head on over to g4tv.com/xplay and tell us what you think. We'll have your answers in just a few minutes.
Coming up on X-Play, we get some FaceTime with running back Darren McFadden, the new cover athlete of NCAA Football 09 for the Xbox 360. Stay with us. X-Play, one of iTunes' best podcasts of 2007.
The government is listening in. The feed starts in 60 seconds. Hey guys, I'm Allison Hayslip. A former security consultant has revealed that a government office in Quantico, Virginia, has access to every voice call and data packet of a major wireless carrier system. Quantico is the home to a Marine base and the FBI's electronic surveillance operations. In other news, Fox's 24 was one of the biggest casualties of the writer's strike when Fox decided against airing a partial season of the show before the strike. Now, the producers are developing a 2-hour prequel to the upcoming 7th season, designed to bridge the 2-year gap between seasons 6 and 7. The prequel will air this fall, leading up to the January return of 24. Get more of the news you need to know at g4tv.com/thefeed. I'm Allison Hayslip, and you've just been fed.
The first kiss.
Welcome back to X-Play. Please don't blink or you might miss our next guest. He ran the 40-yard dash in an amazing 4.33 seconds. Former University of Arkansas running back and future first-round draft pick, Darren McFadden.
It's that time of year again when college superstars are drafted into the NFL and future hopefuls are recruited by the nation's top college football program. Being featured on the box of a successful video game franchise is an honor, and this year is no exception. EA's NCAA Football 09 will feature exclusive cover athletes for each platform, and gracing the Xbox 360 version will be former Razorback and future NFL superstar Darren McFadden. Joining us today, two-time All-American running back from the University of Arkansas, Darren McFadden. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me here today.
Now, congratulations. You have been selected to represent EA and be featured on the cover. What's that like?
You know, it's just a great honor. For me, it's like a dream come true. Growing up playing this game all the time, and then just being on the cover of a game with guys like Reggie Bush, Sean Alexander, Carson Palmer, those guys I know, they were all great college players, just a great honor for me.
Did you ever think you were going to be on the cover of a video game?
Growing up, I would have never thought it was one of my wildest dreams. So for me, it's just a great honor.
I like the action shot they give you there too. You're really going for it.
McFadden.
So what kind of games do you actually enjoy playing? Obviously you enjoy playing football games.
Yeah, the NCAA is one of my main ones, but I like games like Grand Theft Auto, Halo, games like that.
You like playing the social games where you can sit and play with your friends?
Yeah, we get kind of competitive sometimes, but it's all fun.
So talk about what it's like to play as yourself in a video game.
It's crazy, sitting there playing. Sometimes I get mad because I feel like I make a run that I might get tackled or something, but I feel like I should have broke the tackle or something, so it's different sometimes.
So he doesn't behave exactly the way you would behave.
No, I don't think so.
When you mess up, you're like, no, don't do that to me. You're my clone. What team were you a big fan of when you were growing up?
Well, growing up for me, I was mostly just a Flyers fan. I like the guys like John Elway, Terrell Davis, and the Broncos. Cordell Stewart, I was a Steelers fan, so I like watching guys like that play.
And what teams would you play with when you played this when you were a kid?
Arkansas, by me being from the state of Arkansas, and it was always my dream to go to the University of Arkansas and play, so anytime I played a game like this, it was Arkansas.
You got to represent your home. Now, what round do you think I'm going to be drafted in?
If it was me picking first round.
There's a very diplomatic answer. Where do you think you're gonna go?
Oh, I heard so much stuff. I don't know what to think anymore right now. Just sit back and wait for draft day to come.
All right, best of luck. We hope you do very well in your rookie season. You at home, stay right there. X-Play is going to be back in just a minute.
Grace, elegance, and style. The Women of Ninja Warrior, tomorrow at 8, only on G4.
We're on the road. Download this show now as a G4 podcast.
Welcome back to X-Play. Now, earlier in the show, we asked what game review scale you like best. Well, right now, the 10-point scale had 0%. Our 5-star system scored 100% of the vote. And letter grades back out of goose egg. That's because our way, it's the right way. We're always right. But now, let's go over to Morgan, who's got the results of our latest challenge.
In the supposedly grueling Ironman triathlons, all the participants have to do is swim, ride, and run a measly 140.2 miles in sunny Hawaii. In the Sarcathlon, Spartans like you have it a little harder, what with the grab, hammer climbs, and sharp-shooting fusion cords in the perpetual twilight of the standoff map. Let's take a mid-competition look at the current leaders for the latest Mr. Sark Gamer Challenge. The Sarcathlon is in full swing, and Spartans have turned out in droves to see who's the baddest of them all. We thought we'd take a moment to watch some Sarcathlon antics and answer a few questions that have been coming up. So far, the fastest of the fast are not only finding innovative ways to shave time, they're sniping the 8 hidden fusion cores from Gravity Hammer Tower and nailing the 4 targets from the Nade Toss crate without even breaking a sweat. Which is good, since sweat tends to pool up in the ankles of the Mark 6. The Sarcathlon closes its doors on Tuesday, March 11th at midnight, so keep those saved films coming. If you've already submitted a film but think you can do it quicker, send it in. We want the fastest runs, and those don't happen on the first try. And remember, you're not just playing for glory. The best athletes will receive Jinx clothing for gamers and geeks. Check it out at jinx.com.
And be sure to tune in this Tuesday night when X-Play presents Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas 2.
We'll show you the history behind the Rainbow Six franchise, exclusive, never-before-seen footage, multiplayer gameplay, and much more.
So your mission to watch starts Tuesday night at 8, and it's actually Monday night as well, and tomorrow. Check out g4tv.com/Rainbow Six to pre-order your copy, and for more info on Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas 2.
That is it for today, but be here tomorrow for another all-new X-Play at 8 p.m. On tomorrow's show, we hit the beach, the sexy beach, in a made-in-Japan expose. That country has issues.
Yeah, they're like Newsweek. Then we get some portable Halo and check out Ben Heckerdorn's Xbox Laptop Workshop and Will Work for Games. Plus, we'll review Frontline's Fuel of War and Battle the Commies for Precious Oil. And we'll have a world premiere hands-on demo of the return to that other big Nintendo franchise, Mario Kart for the Wii.
Thanks for watching X-Play.